Hello, John Chicken Fillets here, and it's time once again for another Remembering episode. This series, well, I remember about a video game, funnily enough. Now, how I like to do this series is I do this in a one-take, one-shot format, so if there's spoilers, if there's mistakes, well, you have been warned. Now, today's game we're going to talk about is Persona 5. You've never seen it coming. I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for the pun straight away. So, what I like to do with this series as well is I like to take you about how I got into the game, my thoughts on my game whilst playing it, and the future of said series. So how did I get into the juggernaut of a JRPG known as Persona 5? Actually, can I use the Prince terminology, the artist previously known as Persona 5? Because, you know, Persona 5 Royal? Mate, I'm not all there today, am I? Anyway, Persona 5. So, my first playing with Persona was Persona 4 Golden. So, once I played and completed Persona 4 Golden, I was definitely really hyped for Persona 5 when it got announced. Now, would you believe that it got released in Japan in 2016 and it came out in 2017? So, this game has been out for a very long time now, but it's still quite on the forefront of JRPGs, and that's because, well, Persona 5 has had the Royal Edition, and then we've had spin-offs like Strikers, etc. So Persona 5 is still very fresh. So I played Persona 5 when it got released on PlayStation 4, the vanilla OG version, and I remember playing this on the PlayStation 4 and shelling loads and loads of hours on it. Now, I think my first playthrough on the PlayStation tallied up to about 120 hours, I want to say. It was just an absolute beast when it came to the amount of time that you had to put aside for Persona 5. I mean, I thought Persona 4 Golden was a long game, but I enjoyed every second. But man, oh man, Persona 5 is a totally different beast when it comes to the amount of time that you need to put into this game. So what stood out to me straight away, and I think everyone could agree with this if you have played Persona 5, is the art direction for this game and everything to do with Persona 5's presentation. So the cel-shaded graphics, yes, I bring this up all the time. I love my cel-shaded graphics with this. But Persona 5 just looks gorgeous. The UI, the user interface as well, is just so free-flowing, and like one way to describe it is jazzy, because jazzy, I'm describing menus as jazzy. But anyway, it matches the music which goes with it. The way that you go into a menu screen and Joker moves around when you're going into different parts of the menu, whether that's equipping personas or weapons, you know, it moves so slickly and there's no sort of loading to get into different menus. It just is so fast and free flowing. Now with Persona as well, it does have the turn-based combat, and Persona combat's really, really top notch. You know what you're getting yourself into with Persona, and it's timeless. It's a timeless turn-based RPG. The story itself with Persona 5 is really good. The first sort of arc where you are playing as Joker, who's just got to the high school and he meets Ryuji, and then there's what's his name, the dodgeball teacher. I can't mind his name off the top of my head, but that story arc where you're going into the palace to steal his heart, or the desire, you know, becoming a phantom thief, is pretty dark. And when I was playing it, I was like, whoa, this is not what I'm used to seeing in a JRPG. It was really well done and really well presented, but to start off a JRPG with something that deep is pretty hard going stuff. But the overall story about the phantom thieves looking to steal the distorted desires of people in high places, etc. I really enjoyed that, going into the psyche of people, where with the previous game, Persona 4, you were going into a TV world, but this you're going into the psyche of not your victims, but the people that you're looking to steal the treasure from into their palaces. And the cast of characters as well with this game are really lovable. I really liked Morgana. Morgana's a fantastic mascot character. And me, who have always grown up with cats as a pet, I really enjoyed having a cat as a mascot. The rest of the cast as well, the likes of Ryuji, Anne, they're all great characters in this. And the forging of the bonds, etc. And as the game says, take your time. And if you do take your time, you really you feel a part of this world, going around Tokyo, whether it's going to the baseball court or going to the shops, generally going from area to area. And then there's the likes of the mini games where, for example, you could buy an old retro console and that helps towards certain stats when you buy other games for it. There's so many little intricate things with this game, which is just so smartly done. And I know this is the norm with the Persona games, Persona 4, Persona 3, etc., putting up your stats. But I felt this was really, really well done, and they've really fine-tuned this, and it made it kind of the gold standard for this sort of social sim sort of aspect when it comes to JRPGs. And I think a lot of JRPGs nowadays are wanting to hone in on this sort of social aspect. So anyway, and then the music is outstanding. Everyone could hand on heart say that the music is fantastic. Very jazzy, upbeat, poppy music. Really fresh vocals as well. Just amazing. And it really is so memorable. I loved my time with it. And I say this with a lot of games that I talk about on this Remembering series, but I just generally really enjoy my time with it. Now, I have actually recently replayed it via the Royal Edition, because what I've been talking about mainly is the vanilla version, but the Royal Edition just took everything and amped it up to 11, from even adding on extra story beats, extra characters, which were really important to unlock the extra content, and like other quality of life features. So for example, with your gun, for example, that automatically reloads now from my remember once you go out of a battle, because I think that was limited to how many bullets you could have in the vanilla version. I could be wrong, but I remember something along those lines. Introducing the hook shot as well, so there was like going back to this, they made it feel new because you were going into different areas and exploring various sections. So yeah, it was really cool. And again, the music with the Royal Edition, I like the song Gentle Madman or Madness, the music which plays in the extra content. I'm not going to say what's in the extra content, because if you've not played Persona 5 Royal, you really need to. Now, when it comes to the future of said series, well, Persona 5 has had so many spin-offs, but we're still going to see Persona 5 appearing in other games. So for example, Metaphor, of course, there'll probably be Persona 5 DLC cosmetics. Persona 3 Reload will probably have Persona 5 cosmetics. It's the JRPG series, which will be milked for a very long time. So I can understand there is fatigue with Persona 5, but I really do enjoy this game. It's really great, and I can understand why they've gone back to it so many times with Strikers, the music games, etc. Because people do love Persona 5 and the cast and the world that is being created around this. It's just really good. But Persona 5's had its time, and we're not going to get another mainline. It's not going to be Persona 5 2. You never know, but hey ho. So there we have it. That's another Remembering episode in the books, where we talked about Persona 5. Now, if you like what you're hearing and seeing on the channel, well, please help me grow it by liking, sharing, and subscribing. And if you want to be kept up to date with everything Chicken Fillets, well, hit that notification bell. Oh, I maybe forgot to ask as well, what were your thoughts about Persona 5? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, this has been John, aka Chicken Fillets, and until next time, tatty bye!